Hi.
Hello.
How do it? Haven't seen each other in a long time,
It's Meme and Lego again,
if you forgot.
and today we're gonna talk about something that's plaguing the internet and the modern world, and that is the problem of Protagonist Syndrome. If you guys don't know what Protagonist Syndrome is, it's basically being egocentrical and egomaniacal, thinking that the whole world revolves around you. Do you have any opinions on that, or do you want me to talk smack about it first?
I mean, one thing I want to say is that I'm pretty sure each and every person on this planet is a bit like that, but the thing that really differentiates someone who has Protagonist Syndrome and not is how much you believe in that. Like, you can joke and say, I'm the best. But the moment you start believing that,
I love how you do that just to flex.
Yeah, exactly, for effect. But the moment you start doing it everywhere and to everyone, now that's too far gone.
Yeah, I mean, like, I agree with you. I really do. But what's been bothering me personally is how the word NPC has been used out of proportion these days. No matter if you joke about it or if you actually believe in it, because personally I do believe most people believe that they're the center of attention. I'm sure we've all heard, like, oh, he's such an NPC, dude, like, at least once in the past week. At least once.
Yeah.
And if you think someone is an NPC, what gives you that power to do that? What differentiates you from the other people? Why do you think that you're the main person in this show? Like, what capabilities do you have? Because at the end of the day, at least I think, we all do our job. We all want to go home, cook, eat, sleep, do our laundry and whatever. The amount of people who can say that they are the actual protagonists of this world is slim. Like, even then, when they say it, it's basically not true. Because first of all, you cannot just put everything down in such a spectrum that, hey, you're either a protagonist, you're like either the main guy, or you're just, nobody. And I think I've told you about this, the Ed Sheeran theory.
I was gonna mention if you didn't. Yeah.
The whole, I don't know if you guys don't know the Ed Sheeran theory. I'm just gonna give a crash course as quick as I can. Basically, we live in a matrix, and Ed Sheeran, who we all know how he looks like, we all know how he sings like, he's basically this red person who is super famous, became super famous kind of overnight. The whole theory is that we are all living his dream. This world is Ed Sheeran's world. And he is the protagonist. That's, personally, I think that's how every single person who has Protagonist Syndrome sees themselves. Like, it's so mind-boggling to think that you are the center of attention, then why doesn't everyone know you if you're the center of attention? If you're the protagonist, why doesn't everyone know you? But yeah, you wanted to say something, I cut you off, I'm sorry.
Why doesn't everyone know you? Marketing.
Yeah.
Simple as. In marketing, machine has become very, very powerful nowadays. Like, the only two things I wanted to say. The first one is my criteria for what I'll define as an NPC. It isn't someone who just goes on his routine on and on and on, not changing anything. Okay, some people prefer routines, some people prefer a dynamic life. It's okay. The moment I'll call someone an NPC is when it's impossible to change their mind about anything. Because that's what I perceive an NPC to be like. A higher power has to come in to change their mind, or else they won't change anything about it. That's the only time I'll call someone an NPC. Another thing I wanted to mention is, I actually speak for Protagonist Syndrome.
Okay.
In a limited amount.
Okay.
I have a belief that it's one of my core beliefs. To really develop yourself to your fullest potential, both mentally and physically, you have to look at yourself as a work of art, both your mind and your body. And as a work of art, you can't treat it like shit. You have to preserve it, just as works of art are preserved in a museum and they're taken care for, that they're always in the most pristine condition. Because your body and your mind is a work of art, you must also give it the care of a work of art. You must care for your body to be healthy. You must care for your mind to constantly be healthy in every which way that's possible. So I think a measure of Protagonist Syndrome is okay. But the moment we start, delusionally believing that the world will bend to your will and to your imagination, like, that's too far gone. If the Protagonist Syndrome only affects you personally, okay. Depending on how you interpret it, depending on your beliefs and whatnot, it can be either good or bad. But the moment it seeps out into the world, that's that's bad. That's not good.
I mean, I totally agree with you that you should take care of yourself and you should love yourself and treat yourself like a work of art. I'm not against that. The problem I have is, you said an NPC is someone you can't change their mind no matter what, right?
Yeah.
Like, you just take something like, hey, this thing is a pen, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh no, that's just a stick. Like, yeah, that's an NPC.
Yeah.
And I totally agree with it. But the thing with people who have Protagonist Syndrome, at least, again, according to me, you can't change their mind either. They're so centered, like, they're so biased, they're so self-centered. No matter what you do, no matter how times you prove them wrong, they're still, like, they will still have that belief that they are the man. Like, look at me, I'm the boss. And I'm not saying that having, like, some characteristics of the Protagonist Syndrome is bad. No, like, having some of that thing is good, because everyone should love themselves. And if you don't love yourself, you should work on yourself to improve yourself to the point where you're gonna love yourself.
Yeah.
But if you're a shitty person and you treat everyone like shit just because you're the protagonist, now do you see where my problem is?
Yeah.
Like, I don't have a problem if you decide to let's say you want to be a bodybuilder because you flexed earlier.
Okay.
And you do it because you want to improve yourself, right?
Yeah.
And you reach that body, and then you're a bodybuilder. And then you have someone with Protagonist Syndrome who's like, hey, look at me, I'm like, I don't know, 5'2" tall, I weigh 120 pounds. Look at me, I'm a bodybuilder. Like, no, just because you believe in something, that doesn't mean that it's true. How many times have you played a video game or played some sports against someone and they're like, oh, I'm the best, I'm literally the best, no one can defeat me. And then it's like playing a child.
Yeah.
But they're still gonna believe that they're the best.
Yeah.
Like, that's the Protagonist Syndrome I have a problem with.
I mean, that's just hubris.
Yeah, it is.
That was always been present in humanity. Now, though, it's
A lot more prevalent.
Yeah, it's no. You know what the thing is? I don't think it's a lot more prevalent. It's a lot more noticeable. That's something that happened with the internet. It isn't just Protagonist Syndrome. Different kind of social phenomena are a lot more present because it's much easier to see them. Everybody's carrying a camera on their phone. Everybody has a connection to the internet.
Yeah.
Information is spread around the globe instantaneously. So that's why we see it more often. But one thing I wanted to ask you actually is, we're all aware of people who have Protagonist Syndrome in their lives. But what about some celebrities? Like, who would you take as an example nowadays who definitely or probably has Protagonist Syndrome?
Kanye.
True. Though Kanye is playing with cheats. That man has 10 in charisma, passes every charisma check.
Honestly? Okay, Kanye is the prime example. Another example I have, Greta Thunberg, whatever. You know, the activist.
Yeah.
I believe she has an ego comparable to Kanye. And I know this might sound a bit, like, should I be talking about this? But it's been proven that she doesn't do any of her fucking speeches. They're written by someone else. She only talks like a fucking robot. She talks only about the things that have been told to her to talk about. There was this interview when she was getting arrested, when a guy is asking her about something. Was it like energy, Russia, America? I really don't remember. It's been a while since I've seen that video. And she's like, oh, I can't give a comment about it. I don't know anything. And then, like, a few days later, she goes and she has an interview where she's like, you're killing me, you're killing my generation. Like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Look at, like, okay, yeah, she's fighting against something that should be fought against. I'm not saying that. But she's self-centered. Like, she is the equivalent to, oh, how dare you talk against me, you fucking NPC. You know?
Yeah.
So, if you want more examples in celebrities, there's hundreds and thousands of them because of how many celebrities there are right now. Like you said, the internet, it's a great thing. But it's also a very dangerous thing. Because everyone on the internet, if you reach like 1,000 likes on a video, let alone on TikTok you reach 10,000, 100 likes, Jesus Christ.
Yep.
You're gonna treat everyone like shit.
Yep.
Everyone like shit.
Interesting that you brought up micro-celebrities. Because it's a lot easier to become micro-celebrity nowadays than in the past. Truth be told, in the past, the concept of micro-celebrity didn't even exist. But the thing with micro-celebrities is that, unlike actual celebrities, who can't be a total ass, like, there has to be some redeeming characteristic for them to become a celebrity. Micro-celebrities, which were popular on YouTube in the late 2000s, early 2010s to the late, just for being unlikable, and they became micro-celebrities. There's so many cases of these on Twitter, on practically any social media.
On YouTube especially. Especially.
They're so unlikable, but just because people enjoy hating them, they're micro-celebrities.
Yeah.
Case in point, which was in the news recently, Chris Chan. Chris Chan is a micro-celebrity that nobody likes, and yet people know about him. There's a documentary about him. That's my point. That's the point I'm trying to make. Because of the internet, now you have micro-celebrities. Doesn't mean they're good. Doesn't mean they're a good influence. They're fun to watch, yeah, but doesn't mean they're a good influence to you. And you shouldn't watch them for too long, unless you want brain damage like us.
I don't recommend watching any of that. I really don't. But I'm just gonna take a step back because you wanted examples of celebrities with Protagonist Syndrome.
Yeah.
You recently started watching wrestling because of me and our other friend. I personally, huge fan. Put me to jail. That's what it is. One of the biggest Protagonist Syndrome wrestlers ever, Triple H.
Oh yeah.
Everyone who's been on the internet has either heard about him or at least seen what he looks like. You might not know him by name. Short backstory. He buried every single rising star. If he doesn't win, the match is not happening. You can't tell me that that's not Protagonist Syndrome. Because you're there to do a job. Wrestling is fake, let's be honest. If you didn't know that, I'm sorry for the spoilers. Where the hell do you live?
Yeah.
But if your job is to entertain someone, and you don't want to do your job unless you win, there's a huge problem. A celebrity who is super famous, who doesn't have a hint of Protagonist Syndrome, Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
He would put anyone above him. And in my personal opinion, I think he's the bigger protagonist. Because he's trying to help someone. Being a protagonist doesn't mean that, hey, look at me, I'm here, I'm the best thing ever. No. For being a protagonist means that you want to help the people around you no matter what. However, people on the internet don't understand that. And they treat protagonists as, like, what was his name? Homelander.
Yeah.
Like, they think Homelander's, like, the whole personality of Homelander is Protagonist Syndrome.
Yeah.
He thinks that he's the protagonist.
Yeah.
He thinks, and he's gonna do anything and everything in his way just to prove that he's better than the rest. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
You have anything else to say?
No, that's about it. How about you guys?
Let us know in the comments below, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.
Peace.